Appreciate y'all coming on. Appreciate you covering the Green Wave. Practice seven's in the books. We backed off a little bit today because we're going to get after it more tomorrow. We went helmets only, but we did a whole bunch of kicking game. We worked on hands team. We worked on onside kick team. We worked on blocking punts. We worked on some fakes in the punt game and the field goal game. Worked on our rules of matching up on extra point field goal. We did 36 plays of 7-on-7, which was great to do. Guys running around and playing hard, and I think defense had three picks today for touchdowns during that time frame. And then we did a lot of unit work. We did 15 minutes at the beginning of practice and 15 minutes at the end, kind of working on some special type situations. So it was a very productive practice. Back after lunch, we'll have some kicking game meetings here at noon. Then we'll give the guys the afternoon off, let them get off their feet, take a nap, and then come back and dinner and team meeting, and then we have long position meetings and then walk through at night. So it's kind of like Groundhog Day, same thing over and over and over again. One of the things that we do, I don't know if you guys ever done a story on it, but we have a Rise app, where we monitor these guys' sleeping patterns. And, it's pretty neat, just to, see which guys are operating in sleep debt. Nobody right now during camp is, because they're all getting that good solid 2-hour nap, 3-hour nap in the afternoon. But we actually talk to them and monitor the heck out of that, during school year. And, the guys that have more injuries, the guys that are struggling, school-wise and also football-wise, normally guys that are operating at a sleep debt. So if you want to be the very best you can be, you gotta make sure you get a proper amount of sleep. And luckily, there's a bunch of great athletes out there that talk about it all the time. LeBron talks about it seems like every other day in his Twitter feed. So that's where we're at right now, and just open it up for any questions anybody might have. I think you might be muted, Rod. I can't hear you. Looks like you're unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Tom, can you turn up your audio? Let's do that for right now.
Go ahead, Rob.
Rod, try now.
Testing 1, 2.
There you go.
Gotcha.
I was asking about that sleep. Sort of come about. What made you? How'd you find out about it, or what made you decide to use it?
There's a lot of teams that use it across the country, and the guy came in and gave us a good price on it. I've got one of my coaches in the strength department, Jasmine Marks, who monitors that for the guys. I try not to be big brother on that. I don't want to, hey, what were you doing last night? You only got, you got 3 hours of sleep debt. You weren't, you went to bed at certain times. So I kind of try to stay out of it. But Coach Marks does a really nice job of grabbing those guys at lunch or grabbing them out of practice or after practice and just saying, hey, we got to catch up. We're 5 days into the week. You're operating at, 7 hours of sleep debt. We got to, here's your schedule for today. Here's when you got time off. We need to catch back up again. And, it's just so much easier to recuperate from injuries too, doing that. So that's a big deal for us. And then the other thing we got into is the GPS tracking system. Very expensive, but it really tells me, like last week we went 4 hard days in a row. So we were really stressing our guys. And that's when you start getting those soft tissue type injuries. So we pulled back today, because we're going to go hard tomorrow. And when those guys walk off the field, they're turning in their GPS system. It's called Catapult that we use. And, it just is fascinating. I get a report on it every week for the whole staff. Justin Smith does that for us, one of our assistant strength coaches. He did it out at Oregon, so he really knows what he's doing with it. They were one of the first teams, one of the first schools that they use it at the collegiate level. So those are two things that we're doing to, try to, catapult us into the upper echelon of the AAC. And in order to do that, everybody wants to be a great athlete. Everybody wants to lift weights, run, study tape. Do you want to get the proper amount of sleep? You're eating right. We've got a dietitian here at Tulane, and he's in there every day with our guys for lunch, and then he sets appointments up with the guys and talks to them, and it's really through the Center for Sport, that Dr. Stewart and his crew established here a year ago. That's another advantage we have is we're trying to push guys into some of those majors. There's a coaching tract. If that's what you want to do, I'm hoping sometime I get to teach class. I've taught classes every place I've been except here, and I enjoy doing that. And I've always taught theory of football, and it's fun to get to know the students a little bit. So, those are some things we're doing to help our guys become the best athlete they possibly can.
Any other questions of Coach Fritz?
Willie, what do you make of the shift in the college landscape that occurred yesterday and might still not be finished?
Kind of like this, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a wave. It's a roller coaster. I'm not. One of the best things, Troy Dannon's doing is keeping everybody abreast of what's going on. He talked to the team again last night. It's great for me because he updates me as well. He and I talk, at least once a day, sometimes more. But I just found out, probably 5 or 6 days ago, I'm wasting a lot of time sometimes calling him because it's just rumor, innuendo, and when we get some solid, concrete information, he shares that with us. Our guys want to play. Our coaches want to coach. We've done a great job with our testing, following the protocol. We need to continue to keep doing that in order for us to be able to have a season. So, that's what we'd like to do. But obviously, there's a lot of other people that are making these decisions. And when we're fortunate that we've got I believe 5 hospitals in the greater New Orleans area, Tulane University hospitals. We got a prominent physician who's running it for the athletic department, Dr. Stewart. I told our guys how lucky they were. We had a kid get hurt yesterday, and he went off the field and went over to TISM, which is in the back of the end zone right there. And he got looked at by Dr. Savoy, one of the top orthopedic surgeons in the world, for sports injuries. And hopefully he won't hear that and get a big head. But he's, we're just blessed that we have these kind of doctors at our disposal this quickly. So that's another advantage we have here.
How much do you appreciate the approach by the conference? Because obviously other coaches have come publicly and gone after the conference's decision. How much do you appreciate the deliberate nature of what the Americans doing in their approach?
I think it's good. We got time. We're trying to gather information. There's nobody who's an expert in this, at all. And so we were gathering information and trying to figure it out because we've never quite had this scenario, since when was it? 1918, I guess was the last time. So, by the way, John Barry wrote that great book about the influenza in 1918. He's a former Tulane football coach. Did you know that, Tom Simmons?
I did not know.
Yeah, he's a professor here on campus. He coached with Coach Bowden in the 97-98 team. I got a lot of insignificant facts that I'm good at. But yeah, I think it's good. I think we're being very deliberate. We're finding out more information on a daily basis. We need to do what's best for our conference, what's best for these kids. Obviously, nobody wants anyone to be in harm's way. I mean, I know we all say that, but we don't want anyone to be in harm's way. That's at the forefront of our thoughts, but also we got to gather all this information and make sure that we're doing something that's doable. And right now, there's a lot of people out there that feel like it is. I'm going to adhere to the decision of whatever our conference, university decides to do, but until I get that information that we're not playing, we're full speed ahead and we're getting after it.
Hey, Coach, I know you try to stay as optimistic as possible, but do you ever leave practice and think, okay, this may be my last time practicing with these guys, or you just try to
No,
make it over?
I just am blessed to go out there every day and coach. I just got done getting interviewed by Andrew Allegretta, and, there's been a lot tougher things I've had to go through, and Tulane football has had a lot tougher things. Katrina, right? I can't even imagine, what Coach Selfo and that crew had to go through that season. I've heard the stories. They're incredible. And it's probably why those guys that played that year are so close. I get the 98 team always coming back because they won so many games. And then you get that team that shared those common experiences with Katrina coming back. I've heard about the condemned dorms they had to stay in over in Louisiana Tech and all those different kinds. So that's tough duty there. That's tough, but we're going to get through this one way or another. And, you just got to stay positive. That's a big thing that, it's, I hate being around Debbie Downers, and, we're going to try to be positive as we possibly can.
Willie, how have the experimental face guards and other stuff gone today? I know you were a little skeptical yesterday after practice.
Well, I know you weren't here at practice today, Gary, but they were off.
Okay.
That kind of answers it. Our guys just felt really hot. And, we've got to be careful about this. The guys hydrating, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, all those kind of things. I mean, that's always been a part of football, and we can't forget that. And, I'm telling our guys, man, we got two enemies we got to go against right now. We got the virus, and we got this 90-degree weather and 90-degree humidity, and so we got to be very, very careful. So I just, the guys just felt like they were in an oven with their helmet, and they had the visor, and they had the spit visor here, so basically the whole helmet was covered, and they felt uncomfortable with it. And I talked to 3 or 4 guys, and you start talking to those offensive linemen. They all got common sense, most of them, and then I went over to the defensive linemen. They're the same way. No, we got sharp guys over there, and coach, we didn't like it. So we're gonna, unless our conference says we have to do it, at least early in the season, we're not going to do it.
Any other questions for Coach Fritz?
Still, you planning on having a scrimmage tomorrow?
But I've cut back on it. We're not going to go to the ground. We're going to have officials here. Obviously I never want anybody to get hurt, right? But I certainly would feel like a horse's you-know-what if, here in a week I get some kind of information and we did it all, we did that for all for naught. So we're going to get after it and have a very aggressive practice. But we're staying on our feet and we're not tackling tomorrow. But we will have officials here, and when we get that final going, we'll definitely have another one where we will tackle. So we adapted and improvised on it.
Hey, Coach, how much different is it? Because, now you can't just have officials just show up. I guess they have to go through some type of testing protocol and all that too. Is that something that you have to handle, or who has to handle that for you?
They got to go through, our athletic training staff. So, I feel sorry for Albie Linden because he's got everybody asking him questions, and he's not just dealing with me. Now the school's begun. We got this student health center also involved in all these decisions because we are student athletes, and so we've got to get them in. All have to have tested negative, and then they're all going to wear a mask. Matter of fact, they've got a battery-operated whistle now, so there's not any spit flying. okay? So they're going to stay away from our guys even more so than they normally do. If you really watch a game, you know, with them putting the center judge back behind, you know, those guys are really already have been practicing social distancing. They just got to do it a little bit more when they run up on plays, you know. So yeah, they're and it's good for them. They need to practice as well because it is a little bit different for them. Not a ton different, but wearing the mask, using this whistle, you know, making sure when they run up on the play they're staying 6 feet or further away, you know. So they, you know, they just got to work on that as well. So it is different.
So this is just a question that popped up. What do they do on a fumble? There was a fumble and they got to unscramble the pile. I mean, how do they do that now?
I don't know. That's a good question, Ron. I believe they'll get up in there and you know, operate as they normally do with the mask on. They were negative ahead of time. All the players should be negative as well, you know, because we're testing 72 hours out. To me, you know, we've had very, very few positives, and it hadn't been on the football field or in the weight room or in the meeting room that we've gotten them. So it's been the other stuff.
Any other questions for Coach Fritz?
Thank y'all. Appreciate you.
We'll have this transcript